Hi, everybody. Oh, everybody, how are you? Actually, today I just realized a second ago that I forgot to play the intro video of my Mooncast. So let's just do it. I love this intro so much because my partner EJ made this for me. It's really cute.
It's time for MOONCAST.
So yeah, it's me again. Hi everybody, how are you? Welcome to Mooncast. I'm Luna, and I'm a Vietnamese born and living in Vietnam. And let's have fun today. You know that this is actually not the original topic of my Mooncast today, but this morning I just, saw what happened with a Vietnam expert, Western one, of course, white Vietnam expert, and oh boy, let's just talk about them today too, because like it is not just an individual's kind of phenomenon. It's a whole, a whole big scale of the white Vietnam expert, and through that, I'm gonna show you how countries like Vietnam have been dealing with this kind of issue and how you've been fooled by those experts. You know what? Actually, this is very tiring to me, I gotta say, because as a Vietnamese girl, woman, born and living in Vietnam, I seriously just want to be happy, enjoy my fucking life. But it's just that we in Vietnam, we have a saying that, the trees want to stop, to just rest. But the wind just doesn't stop. The trees want to rest, but the wind just doesn't fucking stop. I think that is my situation right now, that I really want to have a relaxing and fun mooncast where we can have fun together. You can ask me questions about Vietnam and I will answer them all, but nope. These Western Vietnam experts just annoy the shit out of me. And why is that? Let me show you this. And I will show you what we've been dealing with, Vietnamese people. What do we have been dealing with? Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. I will share this to you. Yes, this is a kind of brand new event that, of course, many of you don't know about it yet, but I want to share you this. I want to share the whole story to you right now. And hello, Lasu. How are you? Oh, thank you so much. Now, let's figure out what the heck is going on Twitter, on the shithole Twitter. So here, look at this. A while ago, yesterday, yes, literally yesterday, Michael Tatarski, which is Michael, is a white Vietnam expert with a blue check, and he writes for lots of art, like newspapers such as Washington Post, the Atlantic, Politico, the Guardian too, and he also, I think, write for the Saigoneer. I could be wrong, but yes, they are good friend. Mike is good friend with the Saigoneer, Vietnamese English-speaking tabloid newspaper run by liberals and neoliberals in Vietnam. I mean, Western neoliberals in Vietnam. Okay, right about Vietnam, the Saigoneer, the tabloid bullshit. So Mike claimed to live in Vietnam for very long and self-proclaimed a Vietnam expert, and he wrote extensively about Vietnam. But the funny thing is that even until now, he couldn't even speak even a decent amount of Vietnam. But okay, whatsoever, it's just whatever is his personal choice. That's totally fine. But yesterday, Mike posted this on his Twitter. And it was a picture of the decree of a ward in Vietnam, which is like a super local area in Ho Chi Minh City where he lives. Okay. And in that decree, that local government just said like they, because they see the problem of stray dogs and cats in their area. And it is the source for rabies. And the stray dogs and cats might like attack, the citizens in the area and how they give that disease to the citizens. So kind of dangerous. So they want to pick up those stray dogs and cats. And then in order to protect the citizens, they launch a campaign with like volunteers and animal experts, to go there and pick up the stray dog and cat. Just normal, simple, sad, just sad. But since Mike doesn't speak the language and he didn't even bother to ask a Vietnamese to translate that for him, he used Google Translate instead. And in Google Translate, there was a verb that we use in called "gia quân." "Gia quân" is just a verb in Vietnam, a verb when we use when we launch a campaign, like a volunteer campaign, or even like a company has a project and they have a team to do the project and they have the official ceremony to launch the campaign. They called it "gia quân." It's just simple as that. But Google Translate did a poor job translating it, and they translated it into military operation. Look at this, Mike said. A military operation, quote unquote, according to Google, okay, against dogs and cats. And he uses to slander Vietnam. Now, as I just told you, that one is just simply a word and it means launch a campaign, and lots of like this, like Youth Union launch a volunteer campaign where they go and clean the fucking streets or build schools and kindergarten. And I personally joined this campaign when I was a student in 2011, I think. It has nothing fucking to do with military. This another campaign to clean the trash in the national relics in Vietnam, in the Buckley area. That's it. It has fucking nothing to do with military or military operation in Vietnam. But Mike, this Vietnam expert, just a Google Translate, yay! And he blamed that, like he tried so hard to paint Vietnam as an authoritarian, exotic, weird country when we hold a whole military operation to just deal with stray like dogs and cats. Wow. And he writes for Washington Post and the Atlantic and Politico and the Guardian. This is a guy that wrote for those newspapers. Do trust me, like he wrote that in his bio, LinkedIn or something, that he wrote for those people. He's freelancer writers and he lives in Vietnam for years and is a self-proclaimed Vietnam expert. Of course, he blocked both me and Non-La Collective account when we, pointed out he just like masked off him. So, so this is what I have to deal with Vietnamese people, just ridiculous. And he, of course, he has a blue check. Of course. Now here's the thing. Mike Tatarski is not just an only individual who does this. There are thousands and thousands of people like Mike. Claim to be Vietnam expert, China expert, Cuba expert, North Korea expert. What did he say?
Did you share that on Discord?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So now here's the thing. This is a very I'm laughing, but I'm very much concerned about this. You know why? Because Mike used a very notorious tactic, which is called plausible deniability. Now you see this in his original thread. He did say it, passively with a blank, like according to Google. Okay, it's like he just mentioned it like very mildly, and really, right, nobody will really pay attention, especially if they're non-Vietnamese speakers, non-Vietnamese. Okay, and it's the thing like the main point of this whole thread is to slander Vietnam, is to paint Vietnam as exotic, authoritarian country in the like Far East. Evil communist, of course. But the thing is that like whenever, because he mildly mentioned according to Google. So if like there's any Vietnamese like me or non-law collective pointed this bullshit out, like, you fucking kidding me? And he would just deny it. He would just deny the responsibility. Say like, oh, I didn't say this. It's just a Google Translate that this is not my fault. I just like report to you the truth. So you see how these people like manipulate the truth and manipulate the narrative to fool the non-Vietnamese speakers. They did it very insidiously. And boy, oh boy, I'm disgusted by these people. Like, seriously, we just launch a campaign where volunteers and animal experts and go and pick up stray dogs and cats in the same area, in that local area, to protect, both the animals and the citizens from rabies and animal attacks. But Google Translate just like wrongfully translated into a military operation, and Mike immediately took it as a chance. We Vietnamese, we also have a kind of expression saying like those assholes are like a bunch of like dogs that always wait for humans to like not pay attention and then immediately took a chance to bite us in our butt. It is like we say, like we look down on them so much. It's just like a bunch of dogs just try to wait for us to not pay attention and then to bite us in our ass without our attention. So, well, and they make money out of this. They made lots of money out of this. They don't do this out of nothing. They got paid in doing this. Okay? They wrote and they made money and they make use. They live in this country and they enjoy our hospitality. And then they took any occasion to just turn their back at us and then slander us and make profit out of it. Wow, such an amazing life. My Tatarski is not just as I said, it's not just an individual, just only one person. There are many other people too, like Bill Hayton. Oh boy. Bill Hayton, just long story short, a brief biography of Bill Hayton. Bill Hayton is another Vietnam expert, the UK. He's British, okay? He a few years ago, I think in 2007, I could be wrong. Bill Hayton wrote a book, The Rising Dragon of Vietnam. About that book about Vietnam, the name is The Rising Dragon. The book was full of lies and slander. It was so bad. It was so bad that Vietnam deported him. Vietnam had to deport him out of our country because the book was so horrible. He wrote for BBC and Reuters, yes. A while after that, a few years after that, he wrote another book about China. It's called The Invention of China.
Did you actually read the thread with Tatarski?
I did not, because he blocked me.
Oh, he said...
Mike blocked me.
Somebody said, does this mean they're going to kill all the dogs and cats?
Oh, gosh.
And Mike replied, it's again the plausible deniability. He replied, I don't know, but sounds like it could be ugly. Like, plausible deniability.
Fucking asshole. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Mike Tatarski. Now Bill Hayton. Bill Hayton, after writing a book about Vietnam, he wrote a book, invention of China are so terribly full of lies and distortion. It's I had some personal kind of interaction with Bill Hayton on Twitter, and it's a little bit traumatizing to me that I really do not want to talk about it, but I think that is necessary thing to do, that I should show this to you. But EJ, can you please help me with this? So go to my Twitter and find out the thread with Bill Hayton where he demanded to see my hands. Okay, so it is a very creepy behavior. When we talk about, I talk about how I have a piece of rice farm from the government for free the moment I was born, and I grew up being a farmer. I started working on my own piece of rice farm since I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, and it was not child labor, by the way. It was just like, I just went to the rice field with my mom. When my mom was working on the rice field, I played with the grass. I played with the grasshoppers, which later became my snack. And I also play with the cows on the rice field. And after that, when I a little bit grow up more a little bit, my mom taught me how to distinguish between the grass and the rice. Okay, they look very much alike, and you have to distinguish them. You have to weed out the grass and keep the rice kind of plants out there in the mud. It's as simple as that. Okay, it's not something like terribly child labor, slavery labor, or bullshit like that. They usually will like paint Vietnam children like that. So, since I just told people like very simple about my childhood story that I am a fucking farmer, okay? I grew up as a farmer, and my dream is to be back to be a farmer, to work on a farm or a garden. And Bill Hayton immediately jumped in and said that like, well, I'm lying because I don't look like a farmer. What? I'm too pretty to be a farmer or what? So yeah, and then he demanded to see my hand, to see my blistered hands. He didn't even realize that. Yes, we use globes. There's an invention named globes that you cover your hands with to protect your hand from getting blistered, working on the farm. Okay, so that is about Bill Hayton, another Vietnam expert who was deported out of Vietnam because his book. You may remember this. In 2007, Vietnam just normalized, the relationship with the USA. And it was, at that time, Vietnam was extremely poor and vulnerable. And if we can choose, we would never want to piece up any Western countries like US, UK, like that. And we do not want to piss off anybody because we're so vulnerable. And then whatever we do, they're going to use it against us. So the fact that Bill Hayton was deported out of Vietnam in 2007, it means that he did some very, very terrible thing that Vietnam had to put aside, all of those things, all of those hardship, and then we had to deport him. Must be how horrible he is right now. Even Mike was not deported out of Vietnam. He fucking slandered Vietnam like that. He still lives in Vietnam peacefully, and he was not deported. But Bill Hayton was deported out of Vietnam. All right. Now the third person is Joe Buckley. I remember the name so perfectly. Joe Buckley. Joe Buckley is not just a Vietnam expert. He's also an Indochina expert, aka the expert of Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. That's specialized in labor organizing. Joe Buckley also wrote. He has a doctor of philosophy in the schools of SOAS, schools of Oriental and Africa studies, something like that. Yeah. So he has a doctor of philosophy degree, And he been living in Vietnam and Cambodia for a very long time. He claimed to have a Vietnamese wife. And a few years ago, he wrote a book about, the labor organizing in Vietnam. How, our workers organize. And the dude from the UK who the union bastards, very strong, but they went to Vietnam and wrote extensively about labor organization in Vietnam. Okay, whatever. Okay, a little bit hypocrisy, right? But okay, whatever. Maybe they really care about the labor movement and all the union, the workers' union in Vietnam, whatever. So I also interacted with him on Twitter. And when at that time I was talking about, how Vietnam, we have a cooperatives. We have about 25,000 cooperatives in Vietnam. And how we have, our workers' unions have about 11 million members in Vietnam. Joe Buckley jumped in and claimed, what are you talking about? Remember, I am just a normal Vietnamese girl. Meanwhile, Joe Buckley is a Vietnam expert. So I should listen to him, right? Of course, right? He's an expert. He has a doctor of philosophy, okay? So Joe Buckley told this to my face, that there is no cooperation in Vietnam. No co-op in Vietnam. I was like, what the? At first, I was so naive back then. I was so fucking naive. He's white. He has a doctor of philosophy degree, and he wrote a book about labor organization. He must know more about me, right? He told me that there is no cooperative in Vietnam. What? Excuse me, my literal mom is a member of an agricultural cooperative in Vietnam. And I know a coffee shop who has 5 or 7 owners, students, and they started that coffee shop as a cooperative. We have an official website in Vietnam, the Vietnam Cooperative. And then we have, they even list out the exact steps that what you should do to start a cooperative in Vietnam. We have a big supermarket called the Co-op Mart. It's literally called the Co-op Mart. And it started as a cooperative of 25 members. As a co-op, where they started a mart together. And Joe told me that there's no co-op in Vietnam. After I pointed out all the fact or the truth, and I sent him the link to the official co-op website of Vietnam, teach them how the procedure to form a co-op. Sadly, I cannot show you that because after a while, he said, Joe claimed that he accidentally deleted all of the single tweets before, more than 1 week old tweets, so we lost all of that. But I mean, if you go to my Twitter and you can just like search those names, Joe Buckley, Bill Hayton, Mike Tatarski, and Luna, you can just learn all the history of that. I'm not lying. It's all there on the internet. I just don't want to waste my time looking for those to you. But yeah. So, folks, this is what we how to deal with Vietnamese people in Vietnam. We certainly, those white Vietnam expert who doesn't speak the language, but because they white, they speak English and they write for the Washington Post, for BBC, for Reuters, and they wrote books about Vietnam in English. Suddenly, we have to listen to them, and they could never be wrong. Yeah, it's just a fact. We have over 25,000 co-ops in Vietnam, including agricultural co-ops, transportation co-op, and also the small-scale industry co-op. And the Workers' Union of Vietnam have about 11 million members, double than the Communist Party of Vietnam. Can you believe it? No, this exotic, totalitarian country Vietnam could not be like that, right? How could our workers' union have the double members than the Communist Party of Vietnam? Because this is a single party ruled country. Could not be true, right? Workers' union has double members, more than double, than the Communist Party members of Vietnam. Twice bigger than the Communist Party of Vietnam. So um so we Vietnamese, we on one hand we have to fight against the actual threats coming from the imperial core, the threat like nuclear warhead, sanctions, coming from the USA. At the same time, we also have to deal with this shitty people who came to Vietnam, live here, got married to Vietnamese women, and then they make profit from slandering us, out of slandering us. Wow, amazing. Amazing. They enjoying this socialist nation. They enjoying the fruits of socialism, of having healthcare, affordable healthcare, yes, our hospitality, our very extremely stable food price, extremely fresh food too, and yet they still slander us and look down on us and try to lecture us about our own country. Yes, CJ?
I just think you're overmodulating a little bit sometimes. Maybe turn your...
How? Well, this...
Yes, the two left. Just a slight bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Just watch your levels.
Hi. The history is written by the winners, unless the winners are communists. Yeah, seriously, if they really believe that the history written by winners, we literally won the Vietnam War. Why our history is still being whitewashed by the USA? I'm so over that. I'm just so tired. Stop whitewashing our history, please. We are the winners. Excuse me. We are the fucking winners here, okay? We didn't lose. We just decided to not continue. Is there any communists in Vietnam? I would like to know so I can leave America that has gone socialist. Wow, really? The USA has gone socialist? I never heard of it. Seriously, amazing! Congratulations. This very I don't know, delusional or maybe from a different dimension. Literally say that the USA has gone socialist. Excuse me, what has it gone socialist? Because this socialist Vietnam absolutely very different from the USA. Like literally, we have a very stable economy. Our inflation rate is very low compared to the more than 20% of the inflation rate in the USA. Our food price is very stable and we have a price stabilization where we make sure that the price of essential foods such as rice and pork and also many other kind of medicines and fertilizers too always low, affordable to Vietnamese, even to poor people. Excuse me, this socialist Vietnam, we have, subsidized kind of healthcare means that poor people have free healthcare. Okay, people who near poverty line have a healthcare that can pay up to 80% of the fee. Okay, and the normal working class like me, we have a national healthcare that we only pay $35 a year. and it can pay from 70 up to 100% of the healthcare fee in Vietnam. Excuse me, that is what called socialism. Okay, where all our basic needs are secured. Even during the pandemic, the poverty rate in Vietnam still decline. Okay, our poverty rate right now is only 2.2% of the population, and we make a promise that by 2025 we will eliminate extreme poverty in Vietnam. Excuse me, meanwhile in the USA, the so-called have gone socialist, quote unquote, by you, Dustin. I'm sorry. 40.4% of your population are in poverty right now. Okay. And 61% of your population are living paycheck to paycheck. Literally 2/3 of your country is living in poverty or one paycheck away from poverty. What's it? What? Excuse me, this is what called capitalism. The USA been so proud of being capitalist in the world, literally the imperial core, and they are crumbling right now. Meanwhile, Vietnam, the evil communist country, actually we just call ourselves socialists. Okay, we are walking on the socialist path, building socialism. But anyway, we're very stable. Yes, we are eliminating extreme poverty in the next 2 years. 2 years. And also we are building green energies. You know that the green energy of Vietnam right now is, we have the same green energy amount in Vietnam compared to the USA, despite the fact that our GDP is just 1% of the GDP of the USA. And our population is less than a third of the population, and our country is like way smaller. GDP 1% compared to the USA, but we have the same green energy output as the USA. I mean, if you compare the USA to Vietnam, it is an insult to us. Please don't compare your shithole country to Vietnam, and do not call it like you like have gone socialism, because socialism is everything that opposite to it. Right? Okay? Got it? What you have right now, the mass shooting, the mass protest, police brutality, rents getting higher and higher, massive number of houses people, no fucking health care, and food like the lack of food. That is a product of capitalism. Right? Okay, please don't compare the USA to Vietnam. You're insulting us. Apologies for being off topic a bit, but Mexico is going through the same thing. A lot of Westerners are moving here and taking advantage of how cheap and affordable everything is. They are up like. Yes.
I gotta say something real quick. I have this conversation with my dad all the time.
Your dad?
Yeah. I've been trying to. My dad is a Republican, and we have all kinds of conversations. There's the one barrier I'm trying to break through right now, because my dad has the same problem as Dustin Boy had. These folks think they don't understand that what they call socialism and communism is just liberalism.
Exactly.
Neoliberalism. And what they don't understand is that, like, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are both neoliberals. And you need to go back and research, like, the Chicago Boys. You need to go back and research Ronald Reagan and Tony Blair, Madeleine Albright, Bill Clinton, and how and the World Economic Forum and all these neoliberal institutions. So the way that neoliberalism functions, it's like somebody in the chat said, these people are trained to believe that socialism is when the government does stuff. No. The way that neoliberalism functions is it attempts to use the free market to bring about social goals.
The invisible hand.
Right. So they use, and there's a great video by Jonathan Duncan called like authoritarian liberalism or authoritarian neoliberalism or something like that. But it explains how like there's this pedigree of neoliberal ideology has been used to coerce and control people for decades by both Republicans and Democrats and like all the major parties of all the imperialist countries of the world and the capitalist countries of the world. So it's like, no, you're not criticizing socialism or communism when you're criticizing like Joe Biden or Bill Clinton or even Ronald Reagan or anybody that does this kind of authoritarian shit. You're not criticizing socialism or communism when you talk about these measures of control, which are instituted in places like the USA. You're just criticizing liberalism. And Republicans and Democrats are just two sides of the same neoliberal coin.
Yep.
And they use a lot of trappings of like social issues to mask the fact that they're both really just one duo party serving the capitalist interests in the name of neoliberalism. So I just wanted to come in and say that. I hope that eventually I can get my dad to understand that. Like, if you want to criticize socialism and communism, that's fine, but don't conflate it with fucking liberalism. I'm EJ, everyone. Check me out at youtube.com/non-compete. I have a whole video on neoliberalism. See you next time.
Bye. Oh, gosh.
So tired of it.
So tired of it.
It's liberalism.
Please. Here's the thing, yes. So the USians, they are so indoctrinated that they don't even understand what socialism really is, or what communism really is. They don't. Okay, they do not understand. That is why they equate, liberalism to socialism. That's fucking insulting to us. Please don't do that. Stop. Crumbling capitalism is socialism. Now back to this super chat. It is also a thing that the USians are also moving to not just Mexico but also Europe. They're moving back to Europe. Funny is that. And I usually like make fun of it like, oh, so they are relocation. They are relocating back to Europe where they came from. They are like colonizing Europe again because they fucked up the USA so much. Then they going back then colonize you back. I don't know, man. I really like one of the quote from, I don't know exactly who, you in the chat would know, definitely. President of Mexico, I think, said like, Mexico is too far from God and too close to America. Yep, like Cuba. It's too close to the USA that they still under sanction. Cuba just had a terrible fire in their oil reserves. And about 40% of their national oil reserve being burned out. And luckily last night they controlled the fire already. But it is still a very terrible loss, human loss, and also like natural resources, and also a terrible damage to the environment for the earth. Their oil reserve was struck by lightning and it caught fire, and it was like a massive oil reserve area, so it just burned 40% of their national oil reserve. And luckily they controlled the fire already. But yeah, that shit just happened in the last few days. And just a reminder, Cuba is still under US sanction over 60 years already. If you were born in Cuba on the first year of the sanction, you're 65 right now. You're around 65 right now, 63, 65. That is how long it is for the sanction on Cuba. So here, it's a tragedy. Yep, it's really sad. Yeah, only 90 miles off the coast of the US and they did nothing to help. Yes, exactly. Mexico and Venezuela immediately sent, helicopters and teams and all the chemicals to help. And USA, remember that when it happened, when the fire happened, they like, oh, they promised to, we promised to send help, but until now, though, they control the fire already and they did nothing. Nothing fucking happened. Only 90 miles away. And yes, they still under sanction from the USA. Yeah. And it's so fucking ridiculous that the USA sent $55 billion in weapons to Ukraine to support them to fight against Russia, right? In the meantime, they still sanction Cuba for over fucking 60 years. Fucking hypocrite. Fucking hypocrite. So, it is very skeptical. I gotta say that lots of people, that talk about, Ukraine, the Russia thing, like, just the fact that the USA helped them so fucking much, it questioned me so much. It questioned me about the actual nature of this shit. They sent $55 billion in weapons to Ukraine, but not a single helicopter to Cuba. Even though Ukraine is literally on the other side of the earth to the USA, and Cuba is just 90 miles away from the coast. I'm just so mad. And also talking about neoliberalism. Neoliberalism is a fucking joke. Now, the United Nations, it is the thing that, the liberals just praise the United Nations so fucking hard. I think as it was like a real, like the summit for the whole world to deal with the, the world situations. Just look at how 89, how 98% of countries in United Nations for years and years straight been voting to end the sanctions in Cuba. But it has absolutely no impact whatsoever. The sanctions still going on for over fucking 60 years. Even though 98% of the world population voted to end the sanctions. Please just dismiss the United Nations, please. It doesn't do shit. Okay? It doesn't do fucking shit. Even the World Health Organization, too. You remember 2 years ago they promised that the rich country have to send a vaccine to poorer nation to trying to help the poorer nation, and if they don't do it, they're gonna be punished. But what? The rich country, none of them ever did any of their promise, and what? Nothing fucking happened. Okay, the World Health Organization just can't do any fucking shit about those rich countries. It's just fucking ridiculous at this point. Oh, there's another super chat from. Oh, did I miss it? Did I miss it? I have to look for that super chat again. Here, this one. Grad student of history here. I was wondering if I could have you and Israel do a video on Sun Yat-sen life and philosophy since China loves him so much. Interesting. Interesting. You might work with Israel if he has any idea of that, or maybe Silver's book because he's a Hawaiian and Sun Yat-sen has a long history with Hawaii. But I don't know. I mean, I am not Chinese. I am not a Chinese expert. So I fucking hate that term. But I mean, I think it would be more fair for Chinese people or any country that directly related to China to Sun to make that video. But anyway, please email us at noncompetecoop@gmail.com because we can work on, many other future projects together too. That's a really cool idea. But personally, I don't think that I would be a good candidate to make a video on Sun Yat-sen because first, I'm not Chinese. So I'm not a Chinese China expert. And second, Sun Yat-sen didn't have a much influence in Vietnam. Nope. Like Chiang Kai, both Mao Zedong and Chiang Kai-shek were inspired by Sun Yat-sen. But both of those, Mao Zedong or Chiang Kai-shek didn't have a much, influence in our ideological kind of path of Vietnam because we love Mao Zedong. Yes, we respect Mao Zedong and we understand that Mao Zedong is like Ho Chi Minh for Vietnam. And Chiang Kai-shek, we hate Chiang Kai-shek, by the way. Vietnamese people really hate Chiang Kai-shek. It was around 1940s where Vietnam was fighting against both against mostly the British army marching to Vietnam and also the army of the French colonialists. And Chiang Kai-shek at the same time they worked with the British army and they sent about 20,000 armies to the north border of Vietnam and threatened to attack Vietnam. So yeah, we really don't like Chiang Kai-shek. We respect very much Mao Zedong though. There's I saw a donation. I saw a donation from Jonathan Marcus Lopez, thank you so much. About 7 minutes ago. Do you think Vietnam should drop the Latin alphabet? Is the government planning on it? Or is it considered too late? Also, I saw that there is a government in exile of a third Vietnam Republic. Should they be taken seriously? Please read Twitch chat. I'm reading Twitch chat. I'm reading both chat right now. Okay, thanks so much for your donation. Now, first question about Latin alphabet. We don't want to change our alphabet. Here's the reason why. Please understand this. I will give you a brief history of Vietnam. 4,000 years from century 1 to century 10. Vietnam were under the control of the North King, means that like the Chinese king in the North. We are under the occupation of China for 1,000 years. And at that time, we had to write the Han writing system, the Mandarin writing system. And it did not fit well at all with our pronunciation, our language. We struggle a lot. Vietnamese will struggle a lot to learn that original Chinese writing system. Around century 10, okay, Vietnam gained our independence after a long fight. We finally gained our independence. We had our own king, our own government. We at that time we developed our own writing system. We call Nom. The Han is what we call the Chinese writing system. Us we call Nom. Nom writing system is a writing system based on the Chinese writing system. Okay, just like the kanji, and also the hiragana writing system of Japanese too. So it's the same thing. That based on that Han writing system, we created our Nom writing system. They look very much similar to each other if you don't have any knowledge about those two writing systems. But long story short, the Nom writing system, even though we modified it and we changed it and it was better, it matched better with our pronunciation, but it was still very hard for Vietnamese people, especially the working people, to learn because it's still very complicated. And now let me show it to you that our Nom writing system. Why not? Chữ Nôm, hệ thống chữ Nôm. at that time, even though just a noble family of Vietnam can learn how to read and write this. It's too complicated. So, like for example, it is one Chinese word, and in the Vietnamese writing system, we change it into like this. So we always have the comparison like this. Okay. So that's it. It is still just for the noble families, rich family who can read and write this. In about 17th, 18th century, there was a Portuguese missionary came to Vietnam, and he saw the fact that Vietnamese people still struggling to learn how to read and write because of this extremely hard writing system, difficult writing system. So he used the Latin alphabet to work with the pronunciation of Vietnam. And even until the 20th century in the Ho Chi Minh time, that new Latin writing system was still not finished yet. So if you read the original writings of Ho Chi Minh in the 1910s and 1920s, there was still some way of Ho Chi Minh used the syllables very differently from today's writing system of Vietnam. So in that time, even in Ho Chi Minh time, we were still finishing that writing system. So now in 1945, when Vietnam had a successful communist revolution, it was at that time that Vietnam desperately want to eliminate illiteracy. It's very, very important. Giặc đói và giặc dốt. Giặc xâm lăng, giặc đói và giặc dốt. Ho Chi Minh called there are three enemies that Vietnam had to fight at that time. The hungry enemy, the hunger enemy, the illiteracy enemy, and the invading enemy. So we had to fight against the starvation and illiteracy because it was so much important to educate our people to how to read and write so we can teach people about socialism, about how to build a new socialist society, who understand socialist ideologies. So important. Education is very important. So in that matter of very short time where Vietnam had to fight against starvation, fight against the enemies like the fascist Japanese and also the colonialist French, and after that, the imperialist USA. We had a very tough decision that there is no time for Vietnam to just sit there and work on a brand new writing system. No fucking time. We still literally fighting an actual war right now where our people are starving to death. So Ho Chi Minh decided to officially use this Latin alphabet for our Vietnamese people. Even though we know that this is a product of colonialism and Christianity missionary, but we understand it was useful for Vietnamese people in that specific time because it is easy to learn and it matches perfectly with our pronunciation, and we can develop it more in the future to finally complete it. So we made a decision fully well known that this is a product of colonialism and from a missionary, but because it is very useful and necessary for Vietnamese people at that time to fight against illiteracy. So, yes, we decided to choose that Latin alphabet. Now, today, about 70 years later, that writing system is fully completed, and all our documents are written in this Latin alphabet, and we just use it very simply and easily. So there is no point to change it right now. If we change it right now, it's gonna cost tons of money. Because again, we have to have the best linguistics sit together for years, think of a new writing system. And also after if after that we all agree with a new writing system, now we have to spend tons of money on changing all the documents, the actual hard copy or the computer. That end, we have to change our whole education system about things. So it's like, what's the fucking point? It's gonna take tons of times and shitload of money for nothing. We already have one. That's why we fine with it. We're happy with it. So yes, we're not gonna change the writing system. Don't worry. Don't even bother thinking about it. We're not gonna change it because there's no fucking point. And we are very dialectical materialist. people means that we do not destroy it if we see that it's still useful to us. So, for example, when Vietnam won against French colonialists, and after that the U.S. Imperialists, they of course they built buildings, mansions, palaces in Vietnam for so long, so many, and we didn't destroy them. We took over them. Literally the independent palace in Vietnam built by the USA still there, and we turned it into a museum, and we allow people to go and check it. Also the mansions, the big beautiful buildings in Hanoi and all over Vietnam too, we changed it into the presidential palace in Hanoi in Vietnam. Beautiful. So we are very practical people, means that we will keep everything that we can use. We not waste anything. Yes, CJ?
Lost Sue said you got a tip on stream elements. Did you check that?
I'm doing it now.
Okay.
So yeah, we practical people. So yeah, we gonna take whatever we can. Not gonna waste it. The second part of the question is about the third Vietnamese Republic. Oh gosh. The third Vietnamese Republic, aka, you remember the I don't remember the name. The Holy Grand Imperial Duke President Dominican. Remember that? I made several streams of that Dominican. The Holy Grand Imperial Duke President Dominican. He's the president of that third republic. They are fucking joke. They are terrorists. They ridiculous. They just clowns. Please do not take them seriously. Please. So the reason why they call them the third republic. The first republic was the puppet republic built by the French colonialists. Okay, in the 1920s or 1930s, I could be wrong, but around that time, yes, it was the first republic, literally the puppet of French. Later than that, the second republic was the Diem regime in the south of Vietnam in the 50s and the 60s, the puppet of the USA. Now, after they terribly lost and they flee to the USA, a bunch of their descendants, their delusional descendants, started to call themselves the Third Republic. Losers, a bunch of losers. So you know the history of that, understand that. Please do not take them seriously. What you want to type? You don't need to know about. You don't. Please be happy with your blissful ignorance. You don't need to know about the Third Republic. It's a Đào Minh Quân, DAOMINHQUAN.
If they really want to know about those silly clowns, they can go watch your previous streams about the Third Republic.
Yeah.
What, don't you have like 2 or 3 of them in the archives? So.
Why they consider terrorists? Full story. 1975, when they lost the Vietnam War and they flee to 2 other countries like Thailand, Cambodia, or something like that. There was a guy named Hoàng Cơ Minh. He used to be the high-ranking member in the puppet government, the fascist puppet government of the south of Vietnam. After losing the war, he fled to Cambodia and then Laos, and from that he in the 1980s, 82, 85 or something, he recruited about 200 people sharing the same anti-communist ideology. And he markets his group with a bunch of Vietnamese diaspora. They in Australia and the US too, and got tons of donations from those people. They claim that they will march back to Vietnam from the jungle of Cambodia and they will take over. They'll overthrow the communist government of Vietnam and bring back the Republic of Vietnam. Okay, so they got tons of money and donation from those Vietnamese diaspora, and they actually Hoàng Cơ Minh lied that he recruited about 10,000 people, something like that, or 1,000 or 10,000, could be like thousands, yeah. But actually, he only had 200 people. So for months, they tried 3 times, that team, to sneak into Vietnam, brought weapons, guns, grenades, knife, through the border of Vietnam and try to, to enter the border of Vietnam to kidnap our people and try to call to overthrow the government of Vietnam. And it lasted for a few years with 3 times trying that. And that at that time they called themselves Vietton group. Vietton, the Viettan. Okay. And since then, because we had to fight against so many times, and then after the Hoàng Cơ Minh died, in an operation, he died. The next guy took power and also did another march back to Vietnam to try to overthrow our government. Yes, several times. Finally, in the late 1980s, we put an end to that organization. But instead, Vietton group at that time, because they were terribly crossed by the government of Vietnam, so they flee back out through Cambodia and Thailand, and they go back to the USA and Canada, many other countries like that. And even now, they're still active online. They have a Vietnam group, a website, Facebook group, and they still recruit people and still trying to use money, to buy off the Vietnamese people in Vietnam and try to stir up the situation and try to create protest. We call it like color revolution, to try to make the situation, the society of Vietnam, unstable so they can move on with their terrorist action. A few years ago in 2019, we captured a group of Vietnam members who tried to bomb the airport of Vietnam. Their plan was to bomb 2 or 3 other government building in Ho Chi Minh City. They started from that airport. We captured them before they succeeded. So that is why since the 1980s and 1990s, even until now, we consider Vietnam to be terrorist group because they actively send militaries, soldiers here with weapons, guns, and also try to bomb Vietnam several times. So that is why. There's another donation earlier. Wow. Wait a minute. Sam, thank you so much, Sam, for the 8 minutes ago. Sorry, I missed this. Oh, I did cover that. Okay, good. Oh, Texan White Panther, thank you. White people have the most right-wing views, and they like to claim that the other races don't want communism. And that is only privileged white kids that support communism. Meanwhile, communist guerrilla groups have always been mostly non-white. Totally agree with you. Yes, those people, like that Dustin boy claim that the USA has gone socialism. Yes, usually those people, they claim that the kids, the young white privileged kids, they want communism. They forgot the fucking fact that most of communists in the world are actually non-white. Oh, Matthias, there's a silver sticker. Let me check that silver sticker. Yes, in here, maybe. Thank you so much, Matthias, for your silver sticker. It says vibes. Thank you so much. It depends. Yes, the Paris Commune was like one of the very rare shining example of, white socialists. They're cool. Ho Chi Minh helped form the Communist Party of France, so they're cool. They're cool people. But then after that, they got destroyed by the Socdems and by the neoliberals. So France is pretty much a shithole right now. Yeah, sliding into fascism. Yes, but generally speaking, France has a tradition of having lots of socialists and lots of fighting. So sad that the Paris Commune couldn't last long. They're terribly crushed by the enemies, but there's still potential somewhere. You should quote adorable sometimes when speaking English. Just sound. I didn't realize that. I mean, when EJ speaks Vietnamese, it's also very cute, funny too. Especially when he fucked up, the tone, so it turned out to be a totally different meaning. For example, EJ, remember the story you told me when a long time ago? Uh, EJ was in Hanoi and he took a taxi cab, a taxi to a place where he can meet his friend, and the place was to stop at a big, what do you call it? A big public garden, public park. Jesus, public park. There was a park there with a big statue of a bird. Okay, a big bird statue. So he tried to speak Vietnamese to that taxi driver, and with his poor Vietnamese at that time, and it should have been said like chim lớn in Vietnamese. Chim lớn means the big bird. Chim is the bird, and lớn is big. But because he fucked up with the uptone of the word lớn, so it turned out that he just keeps saying dick pussy, dick pussy, dick pussy to the taxi driver the whole time there. And though the taxi driver didn't understand it, they just like tried to go along, not laugh. And finally, when they went to the park and he saw the big statue of the bird. He understood that dick pussy actually means a big bird. And they both laughed their ass off hysterically in that. So it is could be really funny in Vietnam. Another funny story. So I guess EJ's friend, right, went to the from the USA him to the Ho Chi Minh City, and he went to the traditional market of Ho Chi Minh City, buy something, and they try to to bargain for the cheaper price. So in the southern accent, there's a word called mắc lắm. Mắc lắm means too expensive. Mắc means expensive, and lắm is like too much, too expensive. Mắc lắm. It should be up, the uptone. Mắc lắm. But again, because he fucked up with the tone, so it turned out to be pretty face. So literally, that dude just screamed to the lady's face, trying to sell he thinks that pussy face. So when you love Vietnamese, be careful with the tones, because the meaning can totally change, just different tones. So please don't say pussy face when you try to bargain with cheaper price with the Vietnamese street vendors, okay? Now here's the thing: you don't worry too much about it, because usually Vietnamese people, we very like relax. We are very relaxing to foreigners. We do not expect you to speak good Vietnamese, so we would just consider it funny and just laugh out loud. But consider that tones are very important in our language, and just please do not feel like weird or something if we just laugh at you hysterically. Please don't take it too personally. It's just you fucked up with our tones. It turned out to be so funny word in Vietnam. Okay? Oh, there's a Vietnamese comrade in the chat. Hi everybody. Mình cũng đang rất là cố gắng để đưa cái hình ảnh chính xác của Việt Nam ra cho với bạn bè quốc tế và sử dụng tiếng Anh luôn. Thì từ đây mình hoàn toàn đồng ý với bạn là xưa nay cái hình ảnh của Việt Nam mình bị bóp méo rất là nhiều vì những cái truyền thông quốc tế và những cái thằng đấy nước ngoài mà nó không biết gì về Việt Nam mà nó nói láo Việt Nam ấy. Đấy, cho nên là cảm ơn bạn nhé. I just had a conversation with that Vietnamese comrade. Thank you so much for your support. There is no bureau. Yes, no. So I have hard times with plural in English because in Vietnamese we just don't have it. Okay. Whatever. I'm sorry. Tried. I don't care. Here's the thing, I love this tweet from some non-white people on the internet. If I make any mistake in this language, please do not correct me because I have no respect to this language. Okay? Because anyway, it's still the language of colonialism and imperialism. And I hate it. And the reason why I have to speak this language is that lots of English speakers say do not speak a second language. And also at the same time, this is kind of the only universal language that I can use to talk with other non-white people. Please appreciate my effort. Please appreciate the effort, not the outcome. I'll try my best. Check out People's War, People's Army, written by Võ Nguyên Giáp, the great general of us. People's War, People's Army is awesome. Or the biography of, Kostas Sarantidis that I'm gonna make a biography video about him really quick, but he's a Greece comrade. He's amazing. Just a brief summary about Kostas Sarantidis. He was enlisted. He was dragged by Nazi Germany. And then he was dragged by the colonialist French. And then he was sent to Vietnam in 1946, I think, 1946. And then it took him 4 months to escape, the base camps of French colonialists. And he escaped and he decided to join and fight for the communist Vietnam. He's awesome. And because he looked absolutely white, and he used to be in the French army. So his job was, his two main job was at first he would wear as a military high-ranking officer in the French army and try to sneak in and try to open the way for the Vietnamese communist soldiers to come there and attack. And the second job is pretty amazing and funny too, was that I think in the 1950s, when we were fighting against French colonialists, we had a prison in the south of Vietnam, right near Da Nang, in Quảng Nam. I remember Quảng Nam. We had a prison for French soldiers at that time. And Kostas Sarantidis ran that prison. So imagine a white looking, not exactly white, a white looking ex-soldiers of the French colonialists now ran the Vietnamese prison for French soldiers. Pretty amazing. He's really amazing. He's really, really cool. He died last year, 2021, and his last desire was to be buried next to his comrades in Vietnam. So, last month we just had an official funeral of Kostas Sarantidis in Da Nang, Vietnam. We brought his ash down back to Vietnam and bury him in a matter of a cemetery of martyrs in Da Nang, so he can forever stay with his comrades. For now, he was still the only one foreign, we have the highest medal, we call it like the people's heroes, and he's the only foreign people's hero of Vietnam to this day. And I think 2010 we gave him the nationality of Vietnam. So he is Vietnamese. He was Vietnamese, and he received the people's hero medal. So it's really, really base, comrade. So now that is what work within the system that I want you to do. That is why I've been done telling you that if you're watching this stream right now, and if you're white and if you're white passing, please take it, make use of it, and become our tactical white dudes. That's so amazing. Sarantidis took his appearance, make use of it, and turn it into something that he can help the Communist Party of Vietnam. He dressed like a high-ranking French soldiers, sneak into their base and learn about all the information and turn into a spy and open the gate for the Communists of Vietnam to go and attack and eliminate them. Okay? That is what I want you to do. If you're white, make use of it. Be a tactical white dude. That is very important. Yeah, that's fine. If you don't want to say Ho Chi Minh City, that's fine. Just say Saigon. Yeah, we communists, we like fine with using both. Only the anti-communists that only use Saigon, they never use Ho Chi Minh City because that's considered an insult to them. But we communists, we use them both equally. Fine. So what should I do is that I think you're white or you're white passing. What should we do like in the peacetime like this? Now, use your appearance. Use your native speaking skills, the native language. Use that to talk to other white supremacist asshole out there. Shut them down and try to promote the voice of non-white people. That is what you should do. Be on our side. Fight against those Nazis, fascists, white supremacist assholes, and promote our voice. Literally, what EJ does actually, he has his own platform, and he looks white, and he's like even though he's a non-binary, but he still represent as a male, cis male. So he uses his own ability, his own privilege, quote unquote, to spread, information, the truth about, for example, land back, decolonization, or the actual history of Vietnam, or actual meaning of communism and socialism. Okay? And also he promotes the voices of non-white people. Amazing. That's what you should do. Yeah, that is a red flag. That is a red flag to you if someone just refuse to call Saigon Ho Chi Minh City. That means they are anti-communist. That is a red flag, yes. I'm checking the chat right now. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm checking the chat. Yeah, I'm about to. Thanks so much. I'm about to make a biography video devoted to Kostas Sarantidis, who literally, betrayed the empire. He betrayed the empire and joined the communist force. Well, hey, it's just simple. You're talking about Ho Chi Minh City. It's just simple. We just won against the imperialist USA, and we want to remember the name of Ho Chi Minh City. So we just hear the thing. Saigon is not exactly Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City originally is just 3 districts. District 1, 2, and 3. It's just like an old quarter part of Hanoi. It's a tiny city. When we communists took over the city and won against the puppet government, we took the Saigon and we added many more districts around it, and it turned into a massive city. And when we look for the name for the city, we just why not name it Ho Chi Minh, because like he was the leader of the country, the president of Vietnam. He was the one who started, the liberation journey of Vietnam and naming this new city, right on the city that took over by the Republic of Vietnam. Now we name them. Now we name the city Ho Chi Minh. It's like first, it is a very good choice to show the respect to Ho Chi Minh, to commemorate what he did for Vietnam, and also it is a fucking slap to the face of those losers, anti-communists. Okay, now the Saigon, the pearl of Indochina, they've been so proud of. Now it's fucking Ho Chi Minh City. Deal with it. Okay. Yeah, I love that name. Yeah, this is the best choice. Exactly, and the U.S. shouldn't complain because literally your capital city is Washington. Okay, weird. This is Washington, the founding father, slave owner. Hmm. But Uncle was an actual hero and liberator. Sadly, he didn't live to see the victory, but I'm sure he's proud and he should be. Yeah, he's a very important figure in the history of Vietnam. So I think that, yeah, naming that city Ho Chi Minh City is a really amazing choice. And also, as I said, a fucking slap in the face of those anti-communists. Sorry, it's not Saigon. It's Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, everybody. I think that we have about 30 minutes left in this stream. I will answer your question right now. Please ask me a question. The people name it after him. Name it after him. After all, he didn't name it himself. Wait a minute. What did Ho Chi Minh? Did Washington name the place himself? I don't think so. EJ, is this true? Who named Washington D.C. Washington? Who named that area Washington D.C.? Do I have any pets? Do you count geckos as pet? We have a bunch of geckos in our house. They're very cute. Sometimes they talk to us like, and that is how they talk. We do have a geckos, and they eat like mosquitoes and spiders. They mostly live on the ceiling of the floor of the house. Even in my New Zealand history books, couldn't say horrible things about Ho Chi Minh. They could only put him neutrally at worst, which is laughable. Yeah. It's ridiculous. And EJ also told me that even in the history book of the USA, they couldn't even paint Ho Chi Minh with any bad like words or distortion. It's pretty funny. Interesting question. Anarcho-syndicalism. I think that the system of Vietnam right now is very much aligned with anarcho-syndicalism. Looking back at like just looking at how we form our communes and our grassroots and workers union, women's union is very much aligned with anarcho-syndicalism in the sense that yes, the society of Vietnam is formed by communes and about around 200 people will form the commune in Vietnam, and then the few communes together will form a ward. Few ward together will have a district, and then few district will have a city, a province, and then you have a central government. Somehow it's kind of like anarcho-syndicalism when we have this like this commune together, and some of them form together into a syndicalism. Yeah, and they have a kind of what you call like a committee, a few communes together, something like that. And because we also call, the People's Committee of Vietnam, like the Ward People's Committee, the District People's Committee, and the Provincial People's Committee, something like that. Same with the workers' unions in Vietnam. We also have a grassroots level of workers in the business, workers in a farm or something. No, not in a farm. Sorry, my bad. This is a business. Just say that a company, a factory. Yes, they form together, become a unit of They form a union, and then a union, many workers union in the same area, the same ward will have their own workers union for the ward and department, and then yeah, high up, and the highest level is national level, where they literally have the political power in the political system of Vietnam. So take that. I did answer the question. Yes, I remember. Yes, I did. You mean the question you sent in the donation, right? I did that. Drug laws in Vietnam, huh? In theory, drugs like cannabis are still illegal in Vietnam, sadly. But in fact, if you smoke weed, nobody gives a shit. Okay? There are only two things that you should not do in Vietnam, especially if you're a foreigner. First, do not be a drug dealer. You don't want to be a drug dealer in Vietnam, especially if you're a foreigner. You're gonna be deported forever. Second thing is that do not be a drug smuggler. Do not bring drugs in or out the border of Vietnam. Those two things you don't. And the rest of it, you're fine. You go and you buy a joint, you smoke it, fine. Nobody give a shit. Nobody cares. Okay. I'm not saying anything. Big deal, yeah. Just remember that you don't smoke drugs, you don't smuggle drug, and you don't sell drug. Then you're fine. Totally fine. Okay. Oh, one thing, don't grow them here too. Do not grow them here. Even though cannabis is actually they originated from Southeast Asia. They just grow here as grass. But you don't grow them like, for example, just a few years ago, there was a foreigner living in Da Nang and he grew a pot of cannabis and he put it right in the balcony. In the balcony. Excuse me? Really? In a balcony? And of course, the police saw it and they find him. So don't, okay? Don't put it on the balcony, okay? Ace. No clue, man. Lots of people have been asking me already. I have no freaking clue. I think that we do take some political refugee, Cambodian, running away from your Pol Pot regime, something like that. I think that's it. I think that's it. I don't know any who else with like political refugees in Vietnam. Oh, another thing about drug too, Adderall. If you're taking Adderall, please do not accidentally bring them to Vietnam because that drug is illegal in Vietnam. So the things that I suggest you to do is that if you want plan on a trip to Vietnam and you are like like you have ADHD or autism or any kind of problems related to those kind of drugs, please go and Google the list of legal or illegal drugs that you can bring to Vietnam. Do not just accidentally bring it if you don't want to face any misunderstanding, mistreatment, or something like that. Yeah, I usually we just like ask you to throw that drug away. Usually that most of the time, yeah, just throw it away after before you enter Vietnam or something. But yeah, just in case, just check the list carefully and do not. For example, Adderall is one of the things that you cannot bring to Vietnam, sadly. But Ritalin is fine. Concerta is fine, but not Adderall. CBD is fine. CBD is legal in Vietnam, and I'm using CBD to sleep right now. So that's totally fine. Yeah, I'm happy that I can help. Yeah, please check the list. Not Adderall. I remember very strongly, no Adderall. But even here's the thing: even if you accidentally bring some, and if they ask, just say sorry and then just throw away right in front of their face. You're fine. It's just like a mistake you did. It's not like you like really smuck it in. So it's not that scary. We are anyway. We're not that scary authoritarian country. We actually very relaxing people. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. The mental illness addiction, and also I mean a lot about of veterans in the USA houses right now. Eh. Now here's the thing. Theoretically, you don't, right? I don't think that in the law you say that, but in fact nobody gives a shit. The same thing with wheat, okay? And if you like go to the store and you buy alcohol, it's fine. Nobody's gonna ask for your ID. And usually it is a thing in Vietnam that kids usually go to the grocery store and buy alcohol for their dads. So so fine. Yep, that's my style. Just apologize and So usually, it's a thing in Vietnam too. Like, you just do it, and if we can't do it, somebody would just go there and like say like, "Sorry, you can't do this here." Okay, just say sorry and go walk away. Done. Yep, just like out in the country. Yep. Just fine. Don't for your fathers. Lao. There's one thing that's kind of a little bit questionable in Laos is that the abortion is illegal in Laos. For the rest of everything, they're cool. They're fine. They just like Vietnam. Yeah, they're cool. But the only thing about the abortion is a little bit questionable, but I don't know why. But I mean, anything other than that, they fine. When I was 5, my dad told me to buy beer a lot. Yup. And me, I bought, cans of rice liquor for my dad too. Usually buy from the grocery store right in the same village. I haven't visited Laos. I haven't. I plan that maybe early next year when everything settled down, I will visit Laos. And I make videos out of it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're very close. Our cultures are very different. Yeah, because they come here and they have a very like distinct culture compared to us. But if you're talking about like the society or the political situation, we're pretty much similar. Yeah, I have a lot of friends who travel to Laos, and they all said that they just feel like in Vietnam. They're very friendly people. The city also very beautiful. Food delicious. Everything is affordable. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm not an expert. No, I know no idea. I need to have to research more about it, but I have no idea. It's the thing in Vietnam that abortion is totally illegal. There are only two situations that you cannot have an abortion in Vietnam. The first one is, to choose the gender of the kids. You can't. because of the neo-Confucianism that we are trying so hard to fight back, to eliminate it. And one of the biggest problem of neo-Confucianism here is that they just only want male children. And since now we have the official policy of one family should just have 2 kids. And so usually family would choose the male gender over the female gender. And that is totally against the law in Vietnam. And if the family, I want a boy, not a girl, and I'm pregnant to a girl, so I want to abort this. That is illegal in Vietnam. We can't. And I think that's totally reasonable. Yes, you should not abort your kid just because you don't like the gender of the kid. Okay. The second reason, the second situation when you cannot abort in Vietnam is when your pregnancy is over 5 months. Yeah, 22 weeks. I remember over 22 weeks. You can't not abort because that's gonna be very dangerous to both the children and the mother. So yeah, only 2 situations you cannot abort. For the rest of it, that is a choice of the woman and the family. I never heard of the Workers' Party of Belgium, so I'm sorry I cannot answer your question. I have to do some more research. Never heard of. Are they like communists or socialists? Maybe, right? No, don't. Mm-mm. Fine. Here's the thing. If you work for the government, if like the government officers, government workers, if you have a more than 2 kids, usually you would receive some like fine. All right, like I don't know, like $25 to $100. I don't remember exactly. But it's like a very like minor like fine like that. Normal people, normal citizens do not work for the government. You can have as many as you want. Okay? We just encourage people to just have 2 kids so we can take care of them the best. It doesn't mean that having less or more than 2 is kind of illegal in Vietnam. It's just more strict for the government workers. It's like they work for the government, they know the law very well, but they still have it. So okay, fine, just pay like $25 fine and go on with it. No, that's it. The internet in Vietnam is free, not like China. Nope. We can have Google, Facebook, yeah, YouTube, normal. There is two-child policy. Yes, there's nothing like strange in here. You know why? The country of Vietnam is a pretty dense country already. We already have 99 million people. Already 99 million in the teeny tiny little country. So with the very limited natural resources of land and food and stuff like that, having and then we are getting better at healthcare, saving a lot more people, and we don't have a war, famine, like disease, like deathly disease. So like we do need to think about overpopulation in our country specifically because of the limited resources we have. So, and also at the same time that having just 2 children in your family is also, that you can maximize your ability to raise them in the best situation. Because it is a thing in Vietnam that in the past we had so many kids and we were so poor, and because we the poorer, it's like a loop, like because you poor, so you need to have a more kids so you can have a free labor to work for the family, to feed the family. But because you have so many kids, you're getting poorer and poorer because you cannot take care of them. You have more mouths to feed. So consider the situation of Vietnam right now, the material conditions and the natural resources. Having two kids of a family is better for society. Okay? That is our own policy. And it doesn't mean that we like force people to just have a two kids or else they be like, but no, we just encourage. Remember it. We just encourage people that, hey, maybe if you want to have a kid, so maybe just consider having two already so you can take care of it the best. Do not have too many because like it's going to be bad for your family economy. Okay? That's it. It's as simple as that. The age population, no, generally speaking, the age population of Vietnam is pretty good for a healthy economy. Is that like we this shape like this? If you learn that, like we have like children going out, and also like young people, young workers, and then we have a little bit less older people in society like that. It used to be this. It used to be like a pyramid, a triangle or something, a triangle like that, triangle like that. It was a time when we had lots of kids, and growing up because of the health care not good, the poverty, so lots of them cannot survive until the old age. It was like that when Vietnam is trying to flatten the curve. We have it like this. This is the kind of the best thing we do, like equal between the younger people, the children, and the young people. The people with the best opportunity, for the working class, and then a little bit less in older people when the society can take care of them. The worst situation is like the upside down triangle. You have less and less kids, a little bit more workers, but you have a lot of old people to take care of. That is to think about it as an economist. That map is not good, and you cannot have a healthy economy based on that, because like you have a lot of old people over 65 years old that you need to have your retirement plan, health care, pensions, but you have a less workers, working class to actually produce to 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 feed the whole country. And then in the future you have even less children to take place of the old people, of the dying people. That's really bad for the economy. Speaking as a student study in economics. Yeah, absolutely. I encourage you to do that, and also the government of Vietnam also encourage people to adopt kids if they cannot have a kid or they don't want to have a kid or anything. It's a personal choice, but instead, yeah, let's adopt kid because this is also help the society a lot because of the orphans. There are lots of kids being abandoned by their parents, and also the the system, especially in the USA. The what do you call it? I suddenly forgot the word. The force, the system where a couple just take care of a bunch of orphans and they treated them so badly. It's like it's really bad. And yeah, adopting kids, adoption is really good for society, and really we should like encourage people of doing that, to do that. Foster system. Thank you so much, Fireplace. The foster system in the USA is so bad. Not talking about how they treated terribly, they've been harassed, abused, sexual abuse by their foster parents. Nothing about they didn't feed them well, have a lot of health problem, malnutrition. Yes. Oh, about the book, you should ask the Center for Communist Study. they still they're still holding it back. Yeah, something about like Japan. Japan is facing this problem severely, and yeah, they are the young generation of Japan. Less of them want to have kids. Then yeah, it's a really big problem to society. How is my young life? My young life is pretty boring. I most in my young life, I mostly joined the Communist Youth Union, and I volunteer to to go clean the street, clean the school, build kindergartens, and teach English to disabled children, bring free food to uh, poor patient in heart hospital. So mostly my young life, I devoted for volunteer, like kind of jobs like that. I didn't party much at all. Same. Not as severe as China, but a little bit the same. Usually, the year of pig and the year of dragon, we have a shit lots of kids. Ish. A dragon is because it's the most powerful kind of animal, so they believe that it's gonna be good luck, good fortune, great career in the future. Yeah. About the pig year, we believe that the pig they just like being lazy all day, being fat all day. So hopefully that we also lots of parents around believe that if your children born in the pig year, means that their life would be very easy and something like that. They want a smooth life future for the children, so they want the pig year. So yeah, in Vietnam it's the pig year and the dragon year. Music, I love. The thing that I'm into right now is the new lo-fi and rap, Vietnamese rap and lo-fi Vietnamese music. I learned ukulele, but not good at it. I'm not really good at instrumental, but EJ is good at it. EJ play ukulele, guitar, accordion, and a bunch of organs too. The piano thing. So he's pretty talented, but not me. I'm not good at it. Oh, your dad is dragon, huh? Your dad has the dream birth year, according to Vietnamese people. I was born in a goat. I'm a goat. You're dragon too? Huh? Huh? The tiger. Here's the thing. The tiger. If you're like kind of female, you're born in dragon tiger year. We believe that it would be kind of hard for you to find a partner in your life because you're very strong, very tough. You can deal with everything by yourself. Tiger is very tough kind of animal, and they kind of lone ranger too. So we believe that if you're a female born in the tiger year, You're gonna struggle a lot in your love life, like love life. EJ, you'll go to EJ is the raps. You're a rooster. My dad is also a rooster. The rooster is usually we believe that you only can make earn enough for living if you do it like far from home. Yeah, you have to go far from home if you want to earn enough for living a good far budget in the future. That is what we believe. It could be wrong though. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, Vietnamese correct. Yeah, every 12 years, schools in Vietnam we have the problem of having too many kids at the same time. Yeah. Hey, what Mark's interesting. Let's see. Mark's birth year. I will answer this and then I will end the stream. I was 1818, right? Xem lịch âm. 1818 is okay. I do not need English. I want to check. Okay, I want to check now. Ví dụ như là I cannot check it. Okay, I'm checking right now. It's too far back. Oh, he's a buffalo. Yeah, Marx was a buffalo. My older brother is also a buffalo. Thìn Candy. Tí sử dần mão thìn thì ngọ. Ngọ. It's a horse. Max was a horse. Everybody, I'm so sorry. Max was a horse. That was in 1820. So tí sử dần mão thìn tị ngọ. Mùi. Thân. Engels was a monkey. So, long story short, Marx was a horse and Engels was a monkey. 920 đúng không? Tí sử dần mã thìn nghị ngọ mùi thân. Thân khỉ. Yeah. Philippines, travel to Philippines. I really want to. Maybe in the next few years. I plan to, but I'm kind of waiting for the political situation there to settle down a little bit so I can travel. But my priority is Laos right now. Oh, Fidel Castro, right? Give me a second. Castro. Castro born in 1926. Oh, Fidel Castro was a tiger. Fidel Castro was a tiger. Awesome. You wanna look for all the public figures in the world right now. What about Hồ Chí Minh? 1890. Oh, Ho Chi Minh is also a tiger. Okay. Ho Chi Minh was also a tiger. Interesting. Yeah, 36 years. So 36 is 3 times of 12. So yes, Fidel Castro and Ho Chi Minh had the same birth animal. Yeah. Okay, thanks everybody. Oh, such a super chat. Oh, Zana Banana, thank you so much for your donation. The message is, I recently discovered you through the D program. Nice. Getting more non-Western leftist views is wonderful for learning. Thank you for all you do. Oh, thank you so much, Jana. Thank you so much for the support. Um, it's really glad to hear that, more and more comrades, know each other from other comrades. So it is amazing. We are having like a network together working and, introduce the voices of different comrades together. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching this Mooncast, this stream. See you next time. Bye bye.